welcome to a preview project for the 2013-2014 new catalog edition of Project Parade at stampacademy.com. This particular project is a watering can, and you can put it together using only one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. If you would like a PDF with instructions and measurements, you can go over to the free video section at www.stampacademy.com and just download the PDF that's below the video. So you're going to start with a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and you're going to cut a 1 by 12 strip. And then you're going to cut two 5 by 12 strips. The first one you're going to cut at 6.5, and that's going to give you a leftover piece of cardstock. And the second one you're going to cut at 7.5, and that'll give you another leftover piece of cardstock. So this is my 6.5 by 5, and this is my 7.5 by 5. And these are the two pieces that are left over. And just as a reference point, they are 5 by 5.5 and 5 by 4.5. You don't need to know that. That's on your PDF that's below this video. You're going to be left with an extra 1 by 12 piece of cardstock that you can put aside and use for another day. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the largest of these two pieces that I've set aside, and I'm going to go to my ovals, and I want to take that largest oval, which is the scalloped oval, and I want to use it to cut a piece out of this larger piece of strawberry slush cardstock. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to be using my magnetic platform. I'm going to put a cutting plate down, and then I'm going to put the cardstock on top, and it's pulling that magnetic oval onto my cardstock, which is great because I know that it's going to be within those borders and I'm going to get a nice cut. I'm going to cover that with another cutting plate, and I'm going to run this through the Bake Shop. The next thing I'm going to do is take that oval, and I'm going to put it back where it belongs. And as you can see, that gave me a nice little scalloped oval. I'm going to take that second piece of cardstock that your directions say to leave aside, and I'm going to go to the largest framelit that is not scalloped. And I'm going to put that onto my magnetic cutting plate. And I don't know if you can see how quickly this is grabbing onto the platform. It makes lining up your framelits very easy. In fact, there is a video in the free video section of stampacademy.com where you can see how to do that. I'm going to layer this onto the other cutting plate, and I'm going to run this through the Bake Shop. That's going to give me this plain oval. So I have a scalloped oval and a plain oval. And then you're going to take this oval and you're going to put it away. I do tell you all the time to put these away. I have a very messy work surface, and I don't want to accidentally throw them in the garbage. This is done in an empty stamp case with just little business card magnetic pieces. And there's also a free video showing you how to do that if you would like to. We're going to put this aside for now. And what we're going to do is choose a stamp set, and we're going to pre-stamp all of our pieces. I'm going to be using Papillon Potpourri, and I'm just going to use this little butterfly that has little flowers on it. And I'm going to use some strawberry slush ink, and this is from our new In Color collection. And I'm going to stamp all of these pieces of cardstock randomly, tone on tone, with my butterfly and my strawberry slush ink. And what you're going to do with some of the pieces is you're going to be stamping them on both sides, because you're going to be able to see inside the watering can as well. Likewise, you're going to be doing your little strip on both sides. Just flip it over and continue your stamping. Okay, so now once you've done that, what you're going to be doing is taking the 6.5 and 7.5 pieces, and you're going to be adhering them together to make one long piece. And I'm going to do that by putting a piece of sticky strip onto the back of my piece of cardstock. Once I remove the adhesive backing from my sticky strip, I'm very carefully going to just line that up here and adhere. While my sticky strip is out, I'm going to run a piece along the entire bottom edge of both pieces of cardstock. I'm also going to run another piece down the length here so that I can turn this into a little barrel. You're then going to take your cardstock and you're going to put it in your score tool and you're going to score it at a 1/4 inch, which is going to be just above the sticky strip. Next, you're going to cut little tabs up to the score line. So you're going to keep cutting your little tabs at probably, I guess, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inches. It doesn't have to be exact. What you want to do is you just want to cut up to that score line because you want this to wrap around that oval, and to do that you're going to have to be able to adhere these little tabs to the bottom. So just keep cutting these little tabs all the way across. When you're through, you're going to have a piece that looks like this. Next, what you're going to do is take that piece off of here and you're going to peel off the adhesive backing. Now be very careful because once you pull off this backing, it gets very, very sticky. So you're also going to pull off the adhesive backing on all your little tabs. Once you have all of your sticky strip off, you're going to take this and very carefully line up these edges and adhere it. But be careful because we took off the sticky strip from the bottom as well. And so you don't want that to stick to anything. Now what you're going to do is gently squeeze this into an oval shape. Next, you're going to take your mat and your paper piercing pack essentials, and we're going to be using the oval that matches up with this particular oval that we've already cut. So you're going to match those scallops up with the piece that you've cut out. So once you have that lined up, what you're going to do is just take your paper piercer and you're just going to pierce into each little arc of the scallop all the way around your cardstock. Okay, so what you're going to do is take that piece and you're going to kind of adhere this in an oval. So what you want to do is bend down your little tabs on the score line. So now you can put this on top this way. What I prefer to do is put it on top this way so that I have a little bit more control over it. So I'm just going to adhere it like this, and then I'm going to press it down into the oval to make sure I have it adhered correctly. Now I'm going to put my hand in here and I'm going to press down on those tabs just to make sure that they all adhere nicely. Now also, when you do this, you want to make sure that your seams are on the sides because you don't want to be looking at them from the front of your project. Next, you're going to take your bone folder and you're going to score this into like an S shape. So you're going to score one side this way and the other side this way so that you have kind of a little S here. And that's going to be the handle of your watering can. So next you're going to take your 2 tags die. So you're going to take a little piece of cardstock, and this piece is 5 by 5 1/4. I'm going to fold this in half. I'm going to position it over the smaller of the dies, and I'm going to trap it in here with my cutting plate, and I'm going to run this through the bake shop. That's going to give me 2 identical tags. Now I need to stamp these with the same design that I stamped the rest of the project, and that's my little butterfly, and I'm going to randomly stamp these as well. You're going to take one of your 2 tags and you're going to measure in a 1/4 inch from each side. So we're going to measure a 1/4 inch, which is this little line right here, and we're going to use our score blade and we're going to score right up until that flowered part there, right up till the scalloped part. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. That's this 1/4 inch mark, and you're going to score again up to the scalloped part. Then just take your scissor and you're only going to cut into the piece till you reach your score line, and then you're going to fold that in. So now what you're going to do is you're going to measure 3/4 of an inch, and so I'm just going to put this in here, 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to make a little tick mark right there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to score from that 3/4 inch mark down to the bottom, and that's going to give me this. You're then going to move it over and you're going to make another score line parallel to the one you just made. Okay, and that's going to give you this. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to cut on that score line up to the second score line. So for here, it's just going to be this little tiny piece. So I'm just literally cutting out this mini triangle. And on this one, when I cut up, it's going to give me just that piece. So that's going to leave you with this little tab here. And that's how you're going to adhere these two tags to each other. You're going to do the same thing with this tag, where you're going to measure it at 1/4 inch on each side and score. And then do your little tick mark at 3/4. But the difference in this one is you're going to go from that 3/4 mark and you're going to cut down to the corner. And you're going to do the same thing here, where you just snip in to that score line, and that's going to give you this 3-dimensional water spout, where these are going to be adhered to each other like this.